Good afternoon, grade 12, and welcome back again to Practical Research 2. So, right now, we are going to continue the discussion on quantitative research. And later on, we are also going to compare quantitative research from qualitative research. So, let us define quantitative research. Quantitative research, as defined, unlike qualitative research, it uses numerical data or numbers. Now, always remember that when you study or conduct quantitative research, the data that are needed in this research or in this type of research are of course, numbers. So we don't need perceptions or descriptive statements from the respondents. Solely, ang kailangan lang natin ay numerical data. Why? Of course, this numerical data will be used to generalize inquiry based from objective scales of measurements of units called variables. Now, let us review what a variable is. Variables are basically ideas or concepts that we use in research that are observable and measurable. Example, demographic variable. So when you say demographic variable, this example of this are gender, male, female, age, like 20 to 25, something like that. Or another example of variables are gender and academic performance. So it should be observable and measurable. Next, it is an objective, systematic, empirical investigations of observable phenomena through the use of computational techniques. So, like what I said, when we conduct research, it must always be objective, systematic, empirical investigation. When you say systematic, it follows procedures. So you have to follow series of steps. Next one, let us review your knowledge about qualitative research. When you say qualitative research, things are about intuitions or perceptions of the respondents. Now, it's obvious when you had practical research one, mostly your data actually came from your respondents, and all of those data are their perceptions. So, you are not collecting numerical data when you are conducting qualitative research. It usually answers open-ended questions such as what and how. Say for instance, what is your perception about this and that? How do you see the present administration or the administration of President Duterte? So in this type of questions, you are basically encouraging them to give you, all right, their perceptions. It usually focuses on language, ethnicity, religion. That is up for discussion. So mostly when you are studying qualitative research, your focus are mostly about language, 'di ba? Kung yung language ba ay nakakaapekto sa uri ng pamumuhay ng tao, sa komunikasyon, something like that, or ethnicity rather, yung grupo, yung culture, yung pamumuhay ng isang grupo or isang tribo. Religion, of course. It aims to predict or understand better the society around us. Since qualitative research is mostly focused on language, ethnicity, religion, then basically the main purpose of qualitative research is to what? To provide comfort to the society. All right, to uplift the life of the people in the society. Next, let's go back to quantitative research. When you say quantitative research, the researcher is trying to prove or disprove the hypothesis. Kasi when you conduct quantitative research, the first thing that you have to do is to, of course, formulate hypothesis. And based on that hypothesis, you are going to conduct researches, you are going to observe so that you can prove or disprove the hypothesis that you have formulated. It also uses statistical tool or treatment to analyze the gathered data. So we all know that when we gather our data, the data that we will be gathering are basically numerical data or numbers. Then, ito yung gagamitin natin para mapag-aralan or mabusisi, ma-analyze kung yung bang ating hypothesis kailangang i-accept or i-reject. And of course, we will be using statistical tool or treatment such as um, z-test, t-test, person R, and for statistical tool, sometimes we will be, or most of the time we will be using Microsoft Excel, or it could be SPSS, statistical tool like MATLAB, and other available tools in the market. Next, let us compare quantitative research from qualitative research using this table. When we say quantitative research, this is deductive approach. I have already mentioned that when you conduct quantitative research, you start formulating hypotheses. All right, before you what? Move on to observation. That's why this is called deductive because you are starting from general to specific. All right? While for qualitative research, inductive approach. Start from observation and generalization. So the other way around. Next, studies well-known phenomena. Well, for qualitative research, often studies unknown. Now, for quantitative research, usually yung mga pinag-aaralan na dito, yung mga existing na, that you just want to establish theories, principles based on the existing phenomena. Okay? But definitely, you have to use a different approach. Kasi kung napag-aralan na siya ng previous researcher and gagamit ka lang ng parehong approach or strategy, nonsense. So, it's a must that when you are conducting the same study, definitely you have to use a different strategy or could be different variables. Well, for qualitative research, often studies unknown. So, you are discovering new ideas. Okay? You are discovering new concepts. Also, testing hypotheses and theories. But for qualitative, you are going to develop hypotheses and theories. Sabi nga, you are discovering new idea. Samantalang dito sa quantitative, you have to test your hypotheses and theories. Conducted in controlled setting. Well, for qualitative research, conducted in natural settings. For quantitative, what do we mean by controlled settings? Say, for example, you want to study or verify whether male or female, I mean, you want to verify whether male is better than female when it comes to academic performance in mathematics. Kung mas matalino ba ang lalaki kaysa sa babae pagdating sa siknayan or mathematics. So definitely, dun ka lang magpo-focus kasi yun lang yung controlled variables na meron ka. Yun lang yung controlled concepts na kailangan mong pagtuunan ng pansin. Samantalang sa qualitative research, conducted in natural settings, meaning to say, if you are going to conduct an interview sa isang barangay, hindi mo control kung ano yung sasabihin ng mga respondents mo. Okay, hindi mo sila sasabihan na kung ano yung gusto mong maging response nila sa question na ibibigay mo sa kanila. Kasi nga, it is conducted in natural settings. Kung ayaw nila or kung sinabi nila na no, wala tayong magagawa. But if they say yes, wala din tayong magagawa. Kasi this is a study conducted in a natural settings. Next, large number of subject for quantitative. For the qualitative, smaller number of targeted participants. For quantitative, it is important na or gumamit tayo ng mas malaking number of respondents kasi mas malaki, mas magiging reliable and valid ang resulta ng ating research. Like yung kinakandak ng SWS about the incoming election on 2022, di ba naglalabas sila ng result based on study na ang nangunay si Bongbong Marcos followed by Leni Robredo. But if you're going to look at the numbers, ang ginamit lang nilang number of respondents 1,000 lang, 1,000 plus. So definitely that 1,000 plus will not represent the entire population of the Philippines. What if ang ang na-interview lang nila ay isang barangay or isang lugar dito sa Manila na balwarte ni Bongbong or balwarte ni Lenny. So definitely, hindi siya ganun ka-reliable, hindi siya ganun ka-valid. So mas malaki, mas magiging valid ang result ng ating research. Well, for qualitative research, smaller number of targeted participants, pwede ngang isa. Kasi what if you are only conducting case study or narrative study? What if for instance, your example is only about COVID. So definitely, kung case study siya, pwedeng ang maging respondents mo lang ay could be one or two doctors or it could be nurses. So yun lang. Kasi you are only asking for the perceptions, the intuitions of the persons na kailangan mo sa study mo when it comes to qualitative research. For quantitative research, it uses standardized numerical data collection. What does it mean? Gumagamit na tayo dito ng standardized or established, okay, established method on how we collect data. Say for example, we will be using survey questionnaire. Sometimes we have to get standardized survey questionnaire na validated na ng ibang researchers. Okay? Well, for qualitative research, mostly your data are based on textual, sa mga nababasa mo lang, sa audio, sa naririnig mo, sa napapanood mo. 'Di ba? Kasi kung magkakanda ka ng interview sa isang tao, kung ano lang yung nakita nila, kung ano yung na-observe nila, yun lang yung information na mabibigay nila sa'yo. And that will be your data. Wherein for quantitative, dapat ang ginamit mong data collection method ay standardized or established. Okay, napatunayan na, proven and tested. For quantitative, data gathered then analyzed. You have to gather first the data before you analyze. But for qualitative, data gathering and analysis occur simultaneously. Pwede kang habang nag-gather ng data, pwede ka na rin mag-analyze. Alright? Yun yung pagkakaiba ng quantitative from qualitative. Statistical analysis like statistical treatment or programs like SPSS, MATLAB, Excel. Well, for qualitative, ano lang ba yung gagawin mo? Based on content, supported by text or audio. Kasi nga textual siya eh. So kung ano yung sinabi ng respondents mo, dun lang magbe-base or dun ka lang magbe-base. And you just have to support their statements or response ng mga supporting documents from text, from video presentation, from audio, and other sources. Kaya sabi, for quantitative, the data are numerical data, numbers. And numerical data are, of course, divided into two. It could be discrete or continuous. Ano yung discrete? These are counting or whole numbers. Pag sinabi natin counting or whole numbers, walang decimal. Counting numbers starts with 1, 2, 3, and so on. Whole numbers starts with 0, followed by counting numbers 1, 2, 3, and so on. Okay? Walang butal, walang decimal. Example, 8 cats. Wala namang sinabi na, okay, sige, bilangin mo yung dami ng pusa. Sasabihin mo, 8.5 cats. Diba? Imposible. Kahit putol yan, still you count that cat as one. So 8 cats, 200 people, 1,000 bags, 1,000 students, something like that. But for continuous, exact measurement, that includes decimal. Like distance, weight, speed, okay? That requires, or this requires exact measurement. Okay? So 38.5 kilograms. All right? So 28.2 kilometers, or speed 60 kilometer per hour, 60.5 kilometer per hour. So definitely that is exact measurement. Well, for descriptive, this is based only on what you see, what you feel, taste, hear, and smell. Kasi based on observation. which actually involves five senses. All right? So let's take this example. State whether the data is quantitative or qualitative. Now, if quantitative, identify whether discrete or continuous. Number one, population of city of Manila. Definitely, when we say population of city of Manila, we are talking of numbers. So this is now quantitative data. Okay? So, kung quantitative, discrete ba siya or continuous? Now, when we talk of population, we are talking of what? Numbers, or whole numbers rather. Bawal ang may decimal. So, this is discrete. Number one is discrete. Number two, height of a basketball player. Height of a basketball player. Definitely, it requires exact measurement. Okay? So, quantitative. Number two is quantitative. Now, continuous. Hair color, number three, qualitative. Okay, hindi na siguro question yan kasi hair color, it talks about quality, the type of color. Blood type, qualitative. Number of grade 12 students, number, definitely quantitative. Now, for number of grade 12 students, discrete. We need whole number with no decimal. The car of a person drives, qualitative. Okay? Hindi naman tinanong kung ilan. Distance from SM Manila to MOA. Of course, quantitative, continuous. Ethnic group, qualitative. So these are basically samples of quantitative and qualitative data. And I hope you have learned something from this topic. And then next topic will be characteristics of quantitative research. Video lesson for this will be posted soon. Thank you.